Yes, everybody, welcome back to Gazetta Dello Five. My name's Stephen Howson. Joining me and Joel today is, of course, Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio, cheers for joining us, mate. How you been?
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Everything fine. Thank you. Always a super pleasure to be here together.
Wait, Fabrizio. Where's the energy gone, mate? This is a week of news. What's up?
It's a crazy week. It's a crazy week. I'm tired. It's a crazy week. It's been a big fight in the last 48 hours.
This is a long week for everyone, Joel, apart from you.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, man. Look, I've been excited about this week's episode because, it just seems like there's a lot of news going on. Still no news about Arsenal, but I believe that one day you're going to come up with something for me, Fabrizio. But till then, I wanted to get straight into it. The man himself, Mr. Mo Salah, running down the wing. Oh, man, I've got so much appreciation for him. He's looking to sign that new contract. Steve loves him as well. He's looking to sign that new contract for Liverpool. I'm hearing it's £500,000 a week that he's looking for. First of all, is it true? And secondly, is he close to getting this, yes or no?
First of all, I 100% agree with you. This player is incredible. Every time we talk about Mo Salah, I get excited. This player is something incredible, really. So congrats again to Liverpool for what they did, signing him from Roma. Talking about this contract, about the figures, I'm told that it's not 100% like this. So I think it will be less than this. Of course, they are now negotiating. So we will see what will be the final fee at the end of this story, if they will be able to find an agreement. But Liverpool are optimistic. They want Mo Salah to sign a contract as soon as possible because they know so well if they're right to next summer without Mo Salah with a new contract, they're going to have a big problem. They're going to have a big problem because it will be only 1 year of contract for Salah, and it will mean an issue for Liverpool. We're talking about a special player, and this is why they're working on it right now with Mo Salah, with his people, and they're still optimistic. They know that Mo loves Liverpool life with the teammates, with Klopp, with the club. It's about the atmosphere at Anfield. He really loves playing for Liverpool, but it's about the financial and economical side now to see if they're able to find an agreement. They are negotiating. They are in talks. Liverpool want to do it as soon as possible. So it's something they don't want to do like in April or May. They want to do it in the next weeks or months. So they are working on it. Let's see what is going to happen, but Liverpool are on it as real priority. It's like signing a new player for Liverpool to have Mo Salah signing a new deal.
Is there no reluctance over his age? He's going to be 30 in the summer, and offering someone somewhere in the region of 500 grand a week. I mean, what sort of length of contract are we talking about?
I think it would be around 3 or 4 years contract. And it could be a 4 years contract. So this is the point.
It's also gamble, isn't it?
Not really. Not really. Look at the way he moves and the way he runs. The guy looks like he's still as fit as a 24, 25-year-old. You saw what he did to United. I mean, the guy is just the pace. Even if you slow his pace down by 50%, he's still quicker than most strikers in the league. So, and obviously his footballing brain as well. He's not just quick with any, no other attributes. He's got it.
I think it's also important to say that he's really a football boy. He loves football. He loves playing football. He's not like kind of boy that loves different things or going around or this kind of stuff. He's a normal boy, of course, but he loves football. He loves his football. His focus is on football. So this is why I expect Mo Salah to play football at top level for many, many years. And this is what Liverpool expect. And this is why they're going to discuss with him on a long-term contract, of course.
Away from Mo Salah, I would like to draw a line under here in that name again this week. Paul Pogba's come out on Instagram this morning calling the worst newspaper in the world fake news, which we kind of knew, but it's nice to see them called out on it. Has he painted himself into a bit of a corner here by coming out and saying this is fake news when we've seen so many quotes attributed to him and his agent saying that he wants to leave Manchester United, and he's never commented on those?
No, I think it's important to clarify, and this is what I think Pogba wanted to say, that his future is not linked to Solskjær right now. It's not a problem with Solskjær. Of course, maybe the situation with bench in key games with Atalanta and Liverpool was not the best situation, of course, but it's part of football. But his future is not only linked to Solskjær. So it's not if Solskjær leaves, I sign a new deal. If Solskjær stays, I'm not signing a new deal. This is not the situation. It's important to clarify because Pogba has a strategy. It's about personal life. It's about football. It's about contract. It's also about money, of course. He's together with his agent, Mino Raiola, as we said here many times. They are thinking about the future, but this is not something that he will decide now. So if Man United sack Solskjær tomorrow morning, Pogba is not signing a new deal on Friday. So this is not what they're going to do in the plan of Man United and of Raiola right now. what Pogba is saying is he's going to decide his future at the right moment, and the right moment is maybe not now, but is not linked to Solskjaer. So, of course, the situation is not the best one for Man United in general, not only for Pogba, for Ole, for the club in general, but it's not to be decided now for Paul Pogba contract. And as I said here many times, it's not going to be decided in a few days or in a few weeks. It's going to take long. Pogba wants to be focused now on Man United season and see how it's going to continue in the coming months. And then he will decide if it's correct to sign a new deal with Man United or not. But it's not linked to Ole.
On Solskjaer, are we looking at a couple of games?
Steve, sorry, just before you go on so quickly, for someone like me, I've got a few more questions on the Pogba situation. You might know as well, Steve. When is his actual contract running out again?
June 2022. Yes.
June 22.
Yes.
Is he not able to speak to clubs from January if
yes.
he can?
He can. Yes.
That's tricky, man. Because if
that's why I said, Joel, we need to know by now, or ideally like the end of November. You don't want this to go into December, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna stay, you need to have it. You need to tell us you're gonna stay, and we'll organize it over the next few weeks. If you're not gonna stay, we need to know. And then guess what? You're probably not gonna play the rest of the season, is what I would be saying to him. Because why would I waste energy on him?
I think he's not gonna decide in few weeks. This is my feeling. I'm not talking for Pogba, but it's only my feeling is he's not gonna decide in few days or weeks. Also because now for Man United is a moment where they need to decide what they really want to do. Who is the man for the project? If it's gonna be Ole, if he will be able to change the situation, if they're gonna pick a manager for the future or only a short-term manager. So it is also fair, I think, for him to understand what is going on at United and then to decide this is the plan. And I won't be surprised because it's happening a lot of times with players. I always mention Donnarumma because he's working with Mino Raiola's Pogba, and he decided in the final week of May if he wanted to stay at AC Milan or not. And the same happening with other players that are not Raiola players, but now I think in football, free agents are doing like this. Potential free agents are doing like this. They wait till last minute for proposals, and then they see if they want to accept the club proposal or to change and go another league maybe.
He's also going to be getting those proposals. Let's face it, he might be able to talk to clubs from January, but let's not pretend that they're not happening right now, are they?
I think it's normal in football to talk with other clubs. So, officially, yes, he will be able to talk with clubs in January and his agent, but I'm sure that an agent like Raiola is planning for it since a long time. But maybe he will decide to sign a new deal because Man United will start a new project or they will continue with something different. I don't know, but they will decide in another moment, not now. This is the point. And it's not linked to the manager. This is important to clarify. I think this is what Paul wanted to say. He had no fight with Solskjaer, and he's not planning to change because Solskjaer is still at Man United. So it's not about it. Or not only.
Yeah. Steve, you were saying about Ole. I know you want to know.
Yeah, on Solskjaer, I think once we got to sort of yesterday afternoon with no movement from United's board, that looked like he was getting probably the next 2 or 3 games. I think those 2 or 3 games are obviously crucial for many reasons, but 3 more points in the Champions League, if we were able to get a win against Atalanta, would pretty much secure United's qualification for the next round. That alone might be enough to see Ole move into a job, but a defeat in Atalanta might actually move the board in a different direction. I think if we manage to pick up no wins in the next 3 games, that might be Ole's fate sealed. Where do you stand on that?
I think too. I think too. It depends also how you play these games. I think it's not just about the result. For example, I know that they were not happy with the game with Atalanta. Atalanta game was really poor in the first half. Then the comeback was great. Okay, it was Cristiano happy about it. Okay, but the first half was really terrible. And we're talking about Atalanta. Okay, we spoke here. We said it's a tough team. It's not easy to play with Atalanta. But it's Man United, guys. So, the first half was not at Man United level. And then with Liverpool, of course. So this is why I think it's also about how they will show what kind of mentality they have right now with Ole on the bench, with Tottenham, with Atalanta, and then with Man City. I think they will decide game by game. It's not going to be 3 games 100%. It's going to be, let's see what happens with Tottenham. If we want to see a reaction, it's not only about the result. It's also about how the team is showing the reaction after the terrible night with Liverpool. And then, as you say, the Atalanta game is crucial for the Champions League. Winning would be so important. I think it's not going to be an easy game, but I'm sure that this one will be so important to understand about all this future. So, yes, these 3 games will tell us what is going to happen for Man United, but also because they were seriously thinking of changing the manager for the first time. After Leicester game, they were still saying we're protecting the manager, we are with the manager, we want Ole to be our manager. Same after Atalanta game also, if they were a bit disappointed, as I said, for the first half. With Liverpool, they were really thinking of changing. So you know why I say that in the coming games, something could happen after the coming games.
Fabrizio, what happened exactly then? What were the steps after the Liverpool game? You know, because we know he took the training session, obviously the first day, but from what you know and what you're hearing, was he called into an office? Has there been a meeting? You know, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
No. It was not a meeting with Ole. It was an internal talk between Man United board. Main part of the board has been defending Ole. It was on Monday morning when they had the first talk. And main part of the board were defending Ole and saying that in this moment, also because of the alternatives or the other candidates to the job, they were convinced that keeping Ole was the best solution for the next games, and then to decide maybe during the international break when is the right moment to do the next move. But they had a talk. They were thinking about it on Monday, and then on Tuesday, yesterday, they approved everything, and everything was completed, saying, okay, Ole is our manager. From what I'm told, Sir Alex Ferguson has been involved with his opinion in this story, and he was with Ole. He said that Ole is the man to do it right now, to protect the manager, to show that Man United are not giving only responsibilities to the manager. Because, you know, another key point in this internal talk was if you're going to sack Ole right now, the responsibility will be only Ole and not to the players. And we want also the players to be responsible for what happened with Liverpool, because players were on the pitch. Okay, Ole was not the best one and he's not doing a great job in the last weeks, but players were on the pitch with Liverpool. It was not a video game. So this is why they want to give responsibilities also to the players, and sacking the manager immediately after a 5-0 defeat maybe is not the right message to the players. So this is what part of the internal talk, but then they decided to go on with Ole and then maybe decide during the international break if they want to change or not.
Speaking of club legends in trouble, Ronald Koeman, how long is he going to remain at Barcelona? Because it's looking quite toxic for him there at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, I think, first of all, what happened with the fans outside Camp Nou is something that it's a shame for Barcelona fans. So I'm sure that Barcelona will change this kind of situations. Talking about the manager situation for Koeman, Laporta, president of Barcelona, is still backing him. After 2 weeks ago, he changed his mind. He was one step away from sacking Koeman after the terrible period Barcelona suffered at the beginning of the month. Then now he's still backing the manager. He wants to protect Koeman also for the coming games. For Barcelona, it will be so important to see what is going to happen in the Champions League games, because they are still in trouble in the group. They need to win again with Dynamo Kiev and then to play Benfica and Bayern. It will be key to understand if they will continue with Koeman or not. So Champions League games will be crucial to see what is going to happen at Barcelona. I think he will have time to continue showing him he's the man for Barcelona. But at the same time, I'm sure that for long-term project, Barcelona will go for something different. So maybe it will be in the coming weeks, in the coming months, or maybe at the end of the season. I hope for Koeman, but then they will plan for something different with a new manager.
What a job. What a job at the moment. I think everything is against him. But the good thing is Fati is signing a new contract as well, isn't it? I mean, him securing a contract, he's a Barcelona guy anyway. So
it wasn't so easy. Huh? It wasn't
Really?
so easy because when you have Jorge Mendes as an agent, and he's in contact with top clubs around the world, you can have some problems sometimes because offers of clubs interested from different countries. But Barcelona have been able to do it with Pedri, with Ansu Fati in 1 week. And I think, as you said, it's so important for Barcelona because in difficult moment after losing Leo Messi, Antoine Griezmann, difficult moment also on financial side, as we know, having Ansu Fati and Pedri sign a new deal was key for Barca to avoid any kind of problem because they were out of contract next June.
Right. So I was going to bring it back to Man United, but I'll do that shortly. Antonio Rüdiger, to me, that's an interesting one. He's probably, you could even say, the best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment in terms of performances. Incredible. He's high up there. Now, I don't know if this is just paper talk. This is why it's important for you to be here. But he's definitely, it's not clear-cut for him to sign a new contract. That's number one. Number two, I'm hearing that clubs like Liverpool are interested in monitoring the situation with him. Would that be true?
Okay, first of all, It's true that, first of all, let me say incredible, because I still remember it was 1 year ago, October, when the market in 2020 closed in the final week of October, in the first week of October. And I still remember Chelsea were offering Rüdiger around to AC Milan, to Tottenham. And look how a manager like Thomas Tuchel can change the status of a player. Now he's one of the best centre-backs in Europe, as you mentioned, one of the best in Premier League too, of course. So this is why I think that now Chelsea are still talking, and I'm told that they're still talking with Rüdiger agents. So it's not over yet, because Rüdiger wants to stay. Rüdiger would love to stay at Chelsea, but he wants an important contract. He thinks he deserves an important contract. He's not so young, so he wants an important contract also because it's the final part of his career. But at the moment, they have no agreement on financial, economical agreement at the moment between Chelsea and Rüdiger. And I'm told a few days ago, it was far from being reached, So it's a dangerous situation for Chelsea. They are really facing the risk of losing Rüdiger as free agent. About Liverpool, I'm told that at the moment they made yet no approach with his agents. Let's see what happens in the coming months. But for Liverpool, there is still no approach. Real Madrid would be interested if they're going to sign a new centre-back, but no official contacts yet. It's an interest. If he will be a free agent, we are in the race like they did with David Alaba. Bayern also have an interest. And I will keep an eye also on PSG. We had some rumors from France about PSG, and I'm told that they could be around clubs looking for a centre-back during the summer, so Rüdiger could be an opportunity. I think English club is not going to be so easy.
Mate, he could go anywhere. By the sounds of it, he literally could go anywhere. I mean, I don't think you mentioned any clubs in Italy there, but basically everywhere else in Europe he's having a sniff by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. He already played in Italy, so also the feeling with Italian clubs, Juventus, could be an opportunity. As of now, there is nothing going on, but could be an opportunity. It's an incredible opportunity.
You got to think Bayern Munich have got to be strong in there. Any German player that ever becomes available usually ends up at Bayern Munich at some point in their career, don't they? And I think he spent some time at Dortmund coming through. Stuttgart was where he came through, but didn't he spend some time at Dortmund as a kid?
Yes. I think for Bayern Munich, the problem could be about the salary, from what I'm told. That maybe for Bayern Munich, it's not too easy to offer this kind of salary to Rüdiger. So maybe it's easier for clubs like Real Madrid or PSG to write these kind of figures for a centre-back. Bayern are trying to change a bit their salary structure after COVID. And so maybe it's not going to be so easy. But as you mentioned, he's German, so it could be an opportunity for him to be back home.
All right, before we wrap it up then, Newcastle, obviously, they're going to be kings of the transfer market probably for the next decade. But they need a manager. Who do we think is going to be the first big managerial signing that we see take the St. James Park hot seat?
Yes, we had many rumors around Erik ten Hag, because it's true that he's so appreciated by many and many clubs. He's appreciated by people in Man United board. He's appreciated by Newcastle. So many people around this man who is doing a great job with Ajax. But I'm told that it's not going to be easy to change his mind. He wants to complete the season as Ajax manager if something crazy is not happening. So this is what he wants. And I think for Newcastle, it's going to be close to impossible to change his mind as of now, in this moment, with this table situation in Premier League. So
even with 11 million a year, I'm hearing, that's a lot of money then.
It's a lot of money, but he's convinced Ten Hag that maybe next summer or in the coming months he will have the opportunity to go to a top club. Also he was also in Barcelona, around Barcelona names in the last few weeks. So he feels that maybe his moment to go to a top club, historical club, is coming. So this is why I think it's not just about money right now for him. For Newcastle, 1 week ago they had an agreement in place with Paulo Fonseca. It was a verbal agreement, just to be discussed on final details, on final part of the contracts. But at the moment, they decided yet to not call Fonseca back to say, okay, let's sign this contract and let's do it. They wanted to have some new contacts with other managers. Lucien Favre is among managers contacted by Newcastle. So at the moment, these are the two names. But they're taking their time, And when you take your time, it's maybe because you are not yet 100% convinced, or because you want to explore some other opportunity. And so at the moment, it's not decided yet, but they will still keep an eye on Fonseca as front runner and on Lucien Favre as second option for Newcastle.
Was there anything in the Ralph Rangnick talk coming in as some sort of director of football?
At the moment, still nothing serious or advanced. It's not easy with Rangnick, because he wants to have an impact on every single area of the club, also even on the market, on the medical area, on everything on the club. So it's not so easy to build it with Rangnick, but he was one of the names they were considering a few weeks ago. But as of now, I see Fonseca and Favre as main options.
Wow. This is meant to be a quiet month, man. October's meant to just be like feet up, nothing really going on. Starts warming up in December.
This is football.
If they got Rangnick involved, I'd be genuinely worried because that means they're serious.
Yes.
Like you kind of want them to just go for the biggest names available, and it never really works. That's what you kind of want to happen, don't you?
Yes, but he wants the full power, you know. And maybe when you're just arrived in a club, you want to build with your ideas, not with only one single person ideas. I still remember when AC Milan wanted Rangnick. It was 2 years ago. They were really one step away from appointing Rangnick as the manager. But into AC Milan, they had a fight between Paolo Maldini and people in the club because Maldini was saying, we can't give the power only to one single person, you know? So maybe this is a point, I think, also for Newcastle. He's great. I agree with you. Rangnick is great, doing incredible job with young talents, but he wants to decide on everything, from the lineup to the medical stuff, on every single thing in the club. So maybe this is the point.
Well, awesome. Fabrizio, as usual, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back again next week with more Gazetta Dello Five.
Yes.
And maybe Rio's out of hospital. Who knows?
Yeah. We wait for him.
Thank you very much, Joel Beya Stephen Howson, Fabrizio Romano. We'll be back next week. Peace.
Ciao.